So firstly, my name's Joseph. Thank you so much for talking to me today. And we're using AAA Performer to increase the profile of the neurodivergent performers and show how simple changes can be made to make all the difference. So I'm really interested in your experiences and what has worked for you. So, did you get into performing and why?
So I started performing at a very young age, like the age of 5. I joined, so my parents kind of saw like that I wanted to perform, and I ended up going to Stagecoach, and because I was diagnosed at the age of 5, performing was like an outlet for me to just not start worrying about my issues that I have. So performing became like a timeout for me while I was like struggling at school. So yeah, performance was like the age 5 start when I got the bug. I started performing.
What do you most enjoy about performing?
I enjoy just being like, first of all, like even like getting into the rehearsal room with everyone and like creating something, and then that feeling when before you go on stage is like the overture and you hear the music going and then you go on stage, and that's like the best bit, because with neurodiversity it's really hard. Every day is a challenge, and seeing them on that stage I kind of forget about it and I do something that I love.
Is there anything you find really difficult, and why do you find it difficult? That makes sense.
Yeah, so because I've got dyslexia, dyscalculia and dyspraxia. Dyscalculia for me is, so to say it, so dyslexia for me is basically like speaking and taking on information, and you would have thought going into musical theatre that it would be like my worst nightmare in that. However, you find ways of making it easier. But the one thing that I'm struggling with at the moment really is dyspraxia in the audition room, when you're trying to pick up routines or you've got to be given instructions really quickly and you have to pick it up quickly, and my brain isn't as quick as some people in the room are. So it is tricky. And the dyscalculia thing, which is a mathematical dyslexia, which people call it, which no one really knows about, it's not talked about. It's just dyscalculia is one of the things I'm always struggling with. Even I don't really struggle with performance in my dyscalculia because you don't really use maths in performing. You do it working, because I work in retail, so I work behind the till point and counting and all sorts like that, time. But yeah, the thing is, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, I struggle. The difficulties is basically like it's different in different parts of my performance world and my non-performance world, and sometimes in my performance world my difficulties sometimes merge.
Yeah Is there anything that you think could be changed to like help you make it easier for you?
So I've got a neurodiversity agent. He's the and it's called Divergent Talent Group, and Adam is my agent, and it's the first UK neurodiversity agency in the whole of the UK. And I have basically how I say it's like I've got someone on my team, and previously I've been in auditions where, like I've just said, picking up the dance routines is really, really hard. Learning songs in a short period of time, picking up routines. And I think, now we're in 2022 where actually I think these big like casting directors or producers, whatever, when they're in the audition room, understand that people have got learning differences and take it on. But yeah. So in my 3rd year of university, I decided that I wanted to make a change because our stories need to be told, and people need to understand that neurodiversity in society isn't like, we aren't weak, we aren't vulnerable people, we're actually really talented and really strong-minded. Because when you see musicals like, I don't really want like Dear Evan Hansen, you see the neurodiverse person being sad, you see the person messing things up, you see that person being vulnerable. When you see things in movies, the neurodiverse, like anyone who is different, they are seen as weak or causing mayhem. And actually we aren't like that. We get on with our lives, and we want to just show that what we've got is it's a gift, and it's not an issue, and people think we are an issue when we're not. And I think what needs to happen is, on the West End or film and television, whatever, they need a neurodiverse character telling their truth and not being discriminated to be a weaker character. But yeah, that's how I felt.
Do you think you get fair opportunities at auditions and castings?
Well, I think nowadays, because we've got self-tapes, we are able to have that longer time with the monologue, or we can, learn that we can have the monologue near us, or like we can have the song near us when we're performing, and we can do as many takes as we want. And because I'm slow, because I graduated in 2020, the auditions hasn't been great. Like there's not been many, but the ones that I've been to is very much like, if you're not hitting the mark of the if you're not picking things up quickly, or you're not presenting, you probably won't be able to reach your full potential. And it's quite hard in that way.
Is there anything again that you think would help like the situation?
I think if my agent, he will basically help me, will tell the casting directors or who are in the room that I've got these learning differences, and they will understand. But even if when you'll see, for example, I stick out like a sore thumb in these audition rooms because I am slow at picking information up. If they could just understand that, and understand that, give me 2 more weeks or an hour, I probably will be performing at a better standard. But yeah, I think people need to just understand people in the room that aren't going to be that on it, like some people in the room. So I think it's just the understanding and just giving people the time, because I think time is really important for people with neurodiversity. It's really important.
What's your most memorable or funny moment as a performer?
Oh, let me think. I think when I've got this thing where when I forget the words, I create a whole new song. I keep on performing, and I've got this thing where I keep going, and the thing is, I make up the words. I don't stop. I just make up the words, and I've come off stage, and my friend's like, "What have you just sang?" And I was like, I don't know, but I kept on going. But yeah, I think making up the words on the spot when I don't know what's going on is quite funny.